Hey guys, welcome back. We had a good day. It's March 25th. We're going to look at 0 day options today on SPY and the small account challenge. And what we got going on here. On the 30-minute, we gapped up. Here's Eric's chart. He's SPY day trading on YouTube. Gapped up above 5-day and just built liquidity all day. It was about a 6-point range. This morning we got close to touching 200, but didn't quite touch it. Looks like we're still selling in this red, which is bullish controlled selling. But we also could be building a big handle off of this cup. So we'll see. Yeah, so not a whole lot of 30-minute trades today, really. I mean, resistance on magenta, but that didn't even turn out to be nice. There was a nice bounce on the 5-day. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it was. So this morning, I was fully available today for the most part. I did have to leave for like the middle of the day, but much more time in the market. I start off by charting. Well, there's a purple here that's not charted, but I ended up with this gold for the bearish controlled buying. I also had the gray, and yeah, that's pretty much all I had in the morning. And then I had this purple, which is like this red, but a little steeper. I deleted it because I think it was wrong. So you know where I'm going with that. It's not good. Did make a little head and shoulders here. Could have gotten puts on the break of that gray. It was early. I wasn't too confident yet. Waiting for a cup to close, which it did, and then some. Like I said, there was a purple here that was, I think I had it like that. Yep, it was like that. Based on this resistance and then that support. I don't think that was actually correct. I think it was more this red. I'm gonna put that in temporarily so you can see what I was thinking of. 953 I got into a call. 659 call for $1.60. This is me going for a retracement trade. Right here, yeah. So it broke that strong selling gold. And I was using, I think probably gray to manage my risk on it, which I've since deleted. Yeah. So 953, closed at 954 this next candle. It was a pretty nasty in and out. Yeah, pretty nasty in and out. Because I got it probably when it was up here. Then the candle reversed, and then the next candle immediately stopped me out. So got it on that one, but it was a pretty big range. 160 to $1.37. And I still had purple there. I think I copied it down here. Looked like that's what it was selling, and then as far as right here on the support, as you can see, potentially there was both, but yeah. Anyways, that was there. We'll start selling in that. I'm looking for a retracement and taking puts up here somewhere where this now blue temporary line would hit. That'd be ideal. And it just kind of keeps melting down, and then it breaks. So to me, I'm thinking it's breaking this bullish controlled selling and into a steeper actual gold selling algo like that. And so I'm in a put for $1.80 at 10:01. I got an okay fill on this one because it was on the retrace. So it broke here with volume, retraced. I got a put. It came up. Let's see, 10:01. I got another put. That's what happened. I got one here. Got another one here. It filled me. And then stop out of both of them on that same candle as it rallied up here and closed above the gold. So 0 for 2 on there. Lucky. And at some point after that, I kind of still had this purple, I think, or this blue. But at some point, I adjusted my charts and put in this red. Let me see if it was here yet. Yeah, but those first couple trades were ouchy. Next one was all at 10:02. Yep. So I flipped on this one since it bounced back up into that bullish controlled selling, which was a bit aggressive. It was. I thought this was an inverse head and shoulder, and it was, but it had to kind of taper a little longer, and I didn't have this charted right. If I had this charted right, I could have easily gotten calls here or here, but I had it charted differently. I had it here, so naturally I'm going to get calls here, I think is where it was. The 10:02. No, I was early on it. I got him on this one. Got a call here, and then bought another one. 10:06 on this candle. Yeah, I had a limit order waiting to fill, and this candle filled it. And then it... Oh, I got 3 of them. 10:02, 10:06, and then 10:07. So $1.28, $1.34, and then $1.29. 10:02, 10:06, 10:07. I got 3 on that one. This candle gave me another fill. Wow. And then I closed all 3 of them on that same candle. Dang. Yep. So this one retraced here. Got my limit order filled. And then as it broke through this line, as you can see, this wasn't here. This red wasn't here. So poor charting led to those bad trades in there. This one, and then this one. This one would have been fine. I couldn't register where my stop should be because I didn't have this red charted like this. I had this other one. Stopped out there, and then I was like pretty bummed. And then I charted this. I'm like, okay. So I kind of slowed down. I was probably at my max loss at that point. I didn't check my P&L. I try not to, but the problem is if I get to my max loss, like, it's either, okay, am I actually going to stop if I'm at it? Or am I going to keep trading to try and fix it? Or if I don't know, maybe it won't affect me. If I do know, will it affect me? And then I'll want to... Yeah, a lot going on there. I don't feel like I need to have, with this account size at least, and the cash account, my buying power runs out. So there's definitely times where I'm emotionally triggered, and a max loss makes a lot of sense. It's probably good to have it, but I just most of the time I don't feel like I'm in that mental state to where I'm kind of out of control. I just have to stop, reset, chart some more, and get focused. So I tend to not look at the P&L, even if I might maybe have had some red trades and I technically am at max loss. But yeah, those ones definitely hurt. So charted that, stopped out on that candle, and so that was opening for $1.28, $1.34, $1.28, and closed them all for $1.14. So I'm not doing the math, but I was down. And then at 10:13, so I charted this then. This thing ripped up. I put a limit order at the bid on this candle, and it actually filled me like perfectly. It was like right here, it filled me. So I got a call here. A call for $1.36. Let's see, I think, yeah, $1.36. I put an order for another one, $1.27. A limit order. It didn't fill me, and then I canceled it. I'm like, after all this crap I just did, I probably shouldn't be. I should be scaling down and not trying to leverage up on a small trade. And then, yeah, and then this was end up being like my only green trade, which was fine though. It's good I didn't. I canceled it. So canceled that one. What? This ended up being break even. I didn't even look after the trade. That's insane. So annoying actually. Yeah, so got it here, nice fill. It came up to like $1.40, I want to say, something like that. But before it got to there, I charted this green, and it broke this green, and I closed out here, thinking I took profit on it. Oh, wait, what is going on here? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, no, that was that one. Okay, never mind it. Wait. No, yeah, let's break even. 1013 to 1016. I must not have got a good fill on this one. I probably got filled up here. This one was a nasty fill too. I even limit ordered, and yeah. Because I remember this one was a nice, this candle ended up coming down, it was all red, broke the green. I'm like, all right, I should get out. That's probably, you know, I just wanted to manage it with the green here. Then it wicks out of there and rallies up to VWAP and top of this gold, which I don't know if that was charted there at that point. This was ended up being a break-even trade. I can't believe that. Wow. Well, that makes more sense, I guess. Yeah. So, next trade was at, where is this? Next trade was at 1107. So, grinded up. It looked like it was buying up in orange, which is kind of the middle of the wedge. I had purple for the bottom, red for the top. And then I think I had this purple charted. Yeah, purple's charted. Okay. Buy up in the orange. And at 1107 I got a put. Okay, yeah, okay. This trade I thought I was green on, but whatever. This candle was just immediate. That was insane. No way I could get filled on that. So it broke the gold. I think I had purple by then. It didn't fully retest up here. Otherwise I would have gotten my put up there. Broke the gold and the purple. That's really what I was looking for, is that purple. But why? Oh yeah, 1107. So it was on this candle. It was actually at the very beginning of this candle. So it was a nice entry. It broke here, closed below it. I put a limit order, came up, filled it, and then I had gold to manage my risks. Nice big red candle down. I was like, almost wanted to take profit there. I'm like, all right, I should hold. Try and catch it to this purple. Maybe low of day. And it comes another, held through that, another big red candle down. I'm like, okay, cool. It wasn't moving great, but yeah, because it just kept kind of fighting with this gold up here, as you can see. Let me catch up. Oh yeah, let's see. Okay, so then I put a limit order to sell for $1.33. I bought it for 89 cents. Put a limit order to sell for $1.33 on at 11:11. Turn this down a tiny bit. So that was 11:11. I put an order for $1.33, which is at the ask, I think. Yeah, that was on this candle. So purple, if you're looking at the body here, this basically retested purple right here. This candle shows up, I'm immediately putting a limit order. It starts rallying up, and to me it's like that's the first test. I should probably just take profit on that. It was a pretty good gain. There was 89 cents and that was 133, so I was like, wasn't really paying attention to those numbers, but I figured it was probably pretty good. Kind of keeps going up. I'm like, oh crap. So I kept changing my limit order, kept changing it. $1.33, $1.23, $1.14, and finally I got $1.11, and it filled me somewhere up here and then flushed down and just wicked in the last couple seconds of that candle. And I was like, dang, it literally went from $1.40 down here up to $1.11 where I got filled. Or I guess I got filled at $1.13. So that trade ended up kind of sucking, and just my execution on it. Should just market order down here. I mean, in hindsight, of course, but or been a little more patient. As it was climbing up, I wasn't even really looking at the candle anymore. I was just kind of kept changing my limit order. Oftentimes when I'm closing, I'm market ordering, but I just was being kind of, I wanted the limit. And I was chasing it here. If I kind of just slowed down and just watched the candle, just literally like 2 more seconds, it would have started to show weakness, and I could have just kind of had a little patience. Because even though it breaks gold, of course, it can keep coming down, which it did. Yeah. So, anyways, came down, and then I'm looking at that fill. I'm like, man, that was kind of crappy. And because of this trade and my execution on it, I just was totally not even focused enough to get into another trade, that because it actually broke purple here. This was just a wedge trade from top of the wedge to the bottom of the wedge. But the actual break of the whole wedge is happening right here, and I just was sulking about that I totally missed. I mean, this was obvious. This would have been, why is that up there actually? Oh, I moved that up later on, I think. Yeah, all these candles closing below my break point. So yeah, I totally wasn't thinking I can get back in. And if I was more clear on this exit, like I got a good fill on it, or even held to this one, I feel like my mind would have been a little more clear to jump back in then once it breaks the purple. This candle was crazy, yeah. So I didn't catch that candle. I got in a great entry, like about as good as you can get, and then just poorly executed, and then didn't have clear enough mind, so I poorly executed to get back in. So it kind of snowballs like that. You have to reset your brain and totally ignore what's happened in the past to be vigilant for the present. And that's what I missed on that one. Because sometimes I'll be able to be focused to get back in. Oftentimes I feel like I am. I don't know why. This just, I guess because of all this crap back here, then I got to this one, I'm like, So anyways, missed that one. Next trade. Call. Got a call at 11:30 that didn't fill, and then I canceled it. Yeah, so it came down here, actually retested my red perfectly. I'm like, all right, so I had more confidence in red. And then I'm thinking I could catch a wedge trade here. I want to wait for it to break this gold. By the time it breaks the gold, it's so far up here. I'm like, where do I manage my risk? Potentially with green, and then after all this, I'm like, typically it's not going to do like a V like this. I mean, I guess easy down, easy up in a sense sometimes, but I feel like if you're going to have a continuation day, it continues to come down. Oftentimes it'll come down here, build liquidity, and then it'll slowly rise up, or then you'll get a little head or something. This is showing lack of continuation, inverse head, bounce on 5-day. I don't have to have all that analysis when I'm kind of trading, but you can have some of it. And well, that's why I was even thinking of getting this wedge trade, just because how quick this went down, the fact that it broke perfect or bounced almost perfectly on my red and 5-day. So I'm thinking this will be a nice bounce or a nice, wedge trade, retracement, zombie, whatever. And I stick to my rules. Like sometimes I'm just strict on where I'm waiting to enter, even though instinctively, I would get them on 5-day and use 5-day for my stop, or just throw in the green, chart it right away, and just jump in. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait for it to break gold, so it breaks, and then close above it, and then it's like so high up here, I'm not wanting to get into it. So that's why I just let that whole thing go. And then potentially it's just coming up here to retrace to purple, where I could get puts. I didn't though, but yeah, that's kind of what I was going through my head for that one. 11. Let me see. I had a okay, yeah. So I had a call 11:30. I had a canceled call. Yeah, so I put a limit order here, never filled, went up. I canceled it by the time I was up here somewhere. So canceled that call, canceled both those calls. Got into a put at 12:26. So came up. We're still technically in a downtrend. There's a gap down here to be filled still, actually. That's this blue line. We've got 200 above us, 5 below us. We did bounce on 5. So a nice place for puts would be this red line, right? Because that's the top of my wedge, at least. Where are we at? Right here. So 12:26, I got a put. So came down, broke purple. I'm like, all right, it's in a wedge. I'm going to wait. So purple for the bottom, red for the top. Endured through all this, just watching it. It comes up, rallies up. Nice wick, also with VWAP. Kind of waiting for it to break this buying. I think I had this out here, and I'm like, I should wait for at least to break that. Even though technically I don't have to. I don't know. I just like to follow rules. And so, but maybe I didn't. Yeah, I got it here. I got an ugly fill here, because that's where it broke it, I think. Yeah, bought a put here for 89 cents. Closed it, endured through all this, came up here, closed it out because it held above that red, which was the top of that wick. Held above that, close it out there. 89 cents, 72 cents. And since it broke there, of course, what am I going to do? This is the problem. If you have a bad morning, it's like, it's tough. It's just trying to fight back. Don't like trading in the middle of the day if I can avoid it. Sometimes there's action, but usually not. 12:33 then, I jump into a call since it had broken. And this call just grinds and grinds and grinds all above the red, which is fine. I didn't have this gray at that point. 12:34, I got another one, averaged into it. Right here. No volume, not seeing any volume, which, yeah, volume and of course ripping would be what I would prefer. Sometimes it does this though, it breaks a little bit and then it goes. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it just goes. And I had two of them and I just sat on these things. 89 cents, 91 cents, because it's staying above my purple or my red, and I'm thinking I need to, yeah, I need to hold it for that, because this is for one, bullish controlled selling, and it broke above it. But I'm like, there's got to be another wedge somewhere I'm not seeing. I kept looking, I couldn't see anything else like higher up, anything flatter. Like I was trying to chart it and I couldn't see it. So I thought that's probably it. I mean, maybe it's like something real mellow like this. I don't know. So yeah, anyways, I decided for my stop to be breaking back into that red, so I think I stopped it out there. Yeah, 12.50. I closed out for 59 cents. This candle. Yep. So I think what happened there's a wider wedge there. I think it started selling in this gray potentially. I don't know. After that, definitely max loss, and I had to go actually. So I left for all of this, and I actually didn't make it back or anything. But if you look, my purple would have been nice. Would I have caught that? Maybe. Depends on if I wasted energy through here. Even this purple break right here was pretty good, because we're still bearish. This could still be somewhat of a bear flag since we haven't completed the cup. But yeah, I see this purple break right here. And then this final one with the bottom of this entering here. But yeah, it is pretty choppy and grindy for sure. I don't know if I would have fared any better. It's probably better off since I was already at max loss. I didn't get to trade anymore. So yep, there the trades just went over quite a bit. And yeah, this was annoying right here for sure. That, too bad. When I chart it wrong, like it just seems I have to just stop and reset and just start charting again to try and figure out what's going on. And I'm learning that, because sometimes I'm charting it right and I'm right, but then I just I don't know, the move doesn't happen, and so I don't always just question my charting, because sometimes the move just doesn't happen or happens later, whatever. So in this case, I think it was just I charted it wrong, and yeah, because you could have even gotten this. I mean, not that I would take this trade, but this retrace on this red for this wedge trade. That's another entry. This entry was great. Or they executed in here, and then that snowballed from that, which caused me not to have the focus to enter there, which could have ended my day. This one, it would have been a little bit of a risk, just jumping on a green candle and using green for my stop. If I had traded less and had a different morning, then maybe I would have been more willing to throw in for that one. And then this one up here, I don't know. I think maybe I was just, well, I think it was maybe selling this gray instead. I'm not sure. There's a bigger wedge here. Well, part of the problem was on the 30-minute. I did see this. On the 30-minute, we're rejecting magenta. Don't mind that wick. I mean, I was around before that, so I was like, there's these candles that I was like, maybe we're rejecting that. That was all through here. And then I left for this wick above there. So, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Sub up, like up, comment down. Hat money sticks around. Oh, yeah, you want to see what we're down today. Pretty nasty. Very nasty, actually. It's, yeah. Or 171. Yep. To be fair, the green days I've had this week, I know they've been very small, but I've only been on the market for like 30 minutes, which has been good in the sense I've not been over trading, but it's limited my exposure to good setups, and there's definitely been stuff I've missed. So hopefully, the rest of this week I can not trade too often, but trade with good size, so I don't need to trade as much. And yeah, anyways, thanks guys. See you tomorrow. Peace out.